orthomarketing.com. 360-degree digital marketing solutions for your practice.
Well, hello everybody out in podcast land. This is Dean Steinman from Ortho Marketing, and guess what? We are back with another podcast for you. Hope everybody is off to a great start of the summer of 2023. I know that I am as well, and life's short, guys. So enjoy it while you can. As you know that, you want to make sure that you're smiling. You want to make sure your patients are smiling, your staff are smiling, and nothing better than enjoying the summertime. So hopefully this podcast will make you smile a bit as well. Speaking of smiling, I have the world famous, incredible John Iuzzini here with me to talk about your practice and specifically talk about your treatment coordinator and 4 different tips that you can do today with the TC in order to really solidify the practice and take things to the level you want to be and to bring in more patients. So Johnny, how you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Just came off Father's Day weekend and spent a ton of time with the family. So for having me.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Thanks for joining as always. And you're a great guest. That's why we got you back again. So, John, we deal with a lot of orthodontist dental practices here at Ortho Marketing. There's always kind of a hole in the practice to a certain degree as far as, getting the patients to the website and then converting them into starts and getting patients to begin. And at the end of the day, it kind of falls on the TC's shoulders to a certain degree. We know that, that they have a lot on their plate and a lot of follow-ups and a lot of stuff to do. So let's go over 4 quick things that a practice can implement ASAP to get the ball rolling, to be more efficient, and to bring in, let's think, small steps. See if we could do this, and you can get in 2 extra patients in the next 30 days, and it probably will work if you follow these steps. So first off, John, let's talk about the first thing that a TC should do. Basically, even before a patient gets to the office, what should they do? So let's figure a few tips from there.
Yeah, let's think about right from the beginning, intake, right? That first phone call. We want to make sure that, if they miss a phone call or a contact form, we want them to be responding to an incoming consultation in less than 5 minutes, because if they don't do that, the chances of starting is going to drop by about 900%. Now, you got to think about it. It's so competitive out there. So that person who called and contacted you got to use the rule of 3. They're at least contacting 2 other practices. So get on the ball and contact them right away.
Yeah, another step, we're going to throw a lot of numbers at you guys, but the first practice to have a meaningful 2-way communication with the person has an 85% chance of them coming in. Think about that. Okay, Johnson, drops 900% by not communicating with them within the first 5 minutes. And then once you do communicate with them, you got them. All right, you have a much, much better chance of getting them to start if you have the first meaningful 2-way communication. Them reaching out to you, you're reaching back to them and making sure they got it there. So super important to have that in place. And as John said, to respond in less than 5 minutes. It's very important. If somebody is searching for you online, they're gonna, potentially call up 2 or 3 other people. How do we get you to be at the top of the list? Respond right away. What's another thing they should do before the person gets to the office?
Yeah, so you have that, that meaningful back and forth right in the beginning. You want to schedule that in-office consultation within the next 72 hours while it's fresh, because you got to think about it. You're scheduling appointments for parents, busy parents, both probably working full-time jobs. You want to keep that appointment fresh so they make it, and then you don't have a no-show. So get that appointment on the board right away.
Great. And what else? What's one other thing they could do before a person even gets to the office?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of different softwares and tools that orthodontists use in this day and age, and virtual consultations can save a ton of time for a busy parent. So there's a lot of softwares out there and different types of tools, such as, there's Grin and the Grin Scope, and then you even have Smile Snap. Or I know there's also orthodontic screening kit as well.
There's a lot of great programs out there. And again, this is not to take place of them coming into the office, but to pre-qualify them, let them take an extra step to show they care. And the person who fills out a form or does information or takes pictures is much a better chance of coming in for the consult, because they're showing that they're real. So our stats have shown that if somebody does communicate ahead of time and takes this pre-step, they're a much stronger candidate for sure. So now we spoke about a few things that they should do beforehand. All right. So now when somebody shows up at the office, let's give a few tips of what they should do, a TC should do while somebody's at the office.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to make sure that your process is as concrete as possible. You don't want to keep people waiting. Hold the consultations to 30 to 45 minutes max. You don't want to get anybody disgruntled while they're waiting because it could affect them making a decision later down the line. So you want to make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row. But at the same time, to boost them starting and boost the conversions, offer same-day starts. If you're not offering same-day braces starts, you're definitely dropping the ball.
You want to get people while they're there. I mean, you don't want them to go home and think about it. You got them right there, and nothing better than offering a same-day start. And, the conversion rate will go through the roof if they do that there. And what's one other tip that you could do while somebody's sitting there at the office?
Yeah, boost your TC's morale and the office staff, incentivize them with commissions and fun contests, to help them really boost that conversion rate.
So now we got somebody there and you did a consult and you can see somebody is there, but they don't say, yeah, I'm going to start right now. So most probably the person's objection is going to be price. So what are a few things that TC can do or a office could do, or a doctor, to overcome the price objection?
Yeah, don't confuse the patients. I've done a lot of field research and I've done consultations with orthodontic practices. They come out with like 5 or 6 different plans that I couldn't even keep track of. Offer a single, easy to understand payment plan. Just give them one option that won't confuse them.
Smart. All right, so you don't want to confuse them. What else can a practice do when there's somebody says, it's a little high, or I have to talk to my husband or wife, blah blah blah? What else?
Yeah. So if you've laid it all out to them and you've given them the payment plans, all the information that you need to give them a high value incentive for saying yes. If you could see that, they're on the fence about making a decision, if you have something in the back pocket, maybe like a $500 off, $1,000 off, or even a free teeth whitening, you do what you can to really, flip the tide and get them to say yes during that visit.
Nice, smart. Because you got them right there. It's you don't want somebody to leave. All right, so you got them while they're sitting there in the office. What can we do? And obviously, there's a price is super important there. Is there anything else that a practice could do, to get somebody off the fence while they're there?
Yeah. So I mentioned, throwing in a couple of kickers. But what I've seen that a lot of orthodontic practices value is throwing in a retainers for life program. Now, I mentioned like teeth whitening and money off, but I can't tell you how many people I've seen people fill out contact forms, people getting calls to practices about the retainers. They lose them, they misplace them. It ends up costing a lot of money in the long run. So lifetime free retainers is definitely something good that you can use to pull patients in if they're making, if they're looking to make that decision to really pull them over that hump.
Smart. You got them there. Just think of, don't be desperate, but be confident. Offer things that other people are not going to offer. Go over and above. All right, and say somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to let you know. Thanks so much, and they leave. All right. So what are a couple of things that TC should do if they don't get the yes today as a follow up?
Yeah, don't give up right there on the spot. You need to nurture that patient. You need to follow up with that patient weekly for at least the first month, because like I said, they're probably not the only practice that you spoke to. So you want to make sure that you're on it, that you remind them, that you are the top choice, that you are the practice that they should be starting treatment with.
When it comes to follow-up, you have to think, guys, of how to do so and the best process to do so. If somebody fills out a form on your website, okay, they didn't want to be spoken to. Otherwise, they would have picked up the phone and called you. So you need to respond to them via email, text, and finally a phone call. If somebody showed up initially through a phone call appointment, that's the way they're telling you that's the way they want to be communicated with. So you do it the opposite way. You start with a phone call, then you could do an email and a text. You have to hit them multiple ways, multiple times, over the course of a week or so, and hit them on average, how many times? 8, 9 times or so over the course of the week, just to keep in different things. I'm not saying 8 or 9 phone calls, but over the course of all the different touches, you should reach out to somebody at least multiple times, right?
Exactly. You got to think about it. You're not the only business out there marketing to these people. It's not just orthodontics. It's it could be a general doctor. It could be a shoe company. It could be anything.
And finally, what other thing can the practice do if they don't get the yes today?
If they don't get the yes today, Ortho Marketing has highly skilled consultants who can help you on the daily and consult with you to help make your TC better. They can help make your office staff, whoever's inbounding patients, taking those first calls. We have it all. We have secret shop programs. We have, phone etiquette trainings, you name it.
Yeah, it's important to keep up with your education, obviously, as you know, to make sure that your staff is not getting caught behind, making sure you're catching the wave and being on the cutting edge and having the right technologies. And how do you stand out? As we mentioned, you've got more competition than ever before. So, by having the right program in place, the right training in place, the right checks and balances in place, you should be able to see a big difference. John, in closing, what's one tip out of all those there that you could tell somebody they should do right now? Out of all those, besides call up Ortho Marketing, what's one thing somebody should do right this minute?
Be in the know your staff. If you don't know your staff and you don't know what they're doing, you're behind the 8 ball. They could be making itsy bitsy mistakes that could be costing you thousands of dollars.
I think there you go. Know your staff. Perfect. All right. So guys, that's it. Real basic. You've got 4 main points there. You got before somebody gets to the office, while they're at the office, overcoming objection, and then the follow-up. If you just follow the basic common sense protocols and have a process in place, you'll see results. It's no doubt about it. This is tried and true for any business, as John said. No matter if it's a car dealership or if you're buying shoes online or whatever, you have to have the right process in place. And, we've got it here. So it's real important. Hopefully you take these steps. You'll see the difference. You have to track it the right way. And, we'd be able to really take your practice to the place you want it to be. So that's kind of it. So again, take these to heart. Hopefully we made you smile a little bit today. As I said, enjoy your summer. You're going to see us back again with these smiley faces to give you some more great tips. So, John, thanks so much for joining. I appreciate it. About in podcast land, thank you so much for tuning in to this Ortho Marketing Podcast. And I look forward to seeing you guys face to face soon. And happy smiles, happy marketing. Bye-bye.
OrthoMarketing.com. 360-degree digital marketing solutions for your practice.